Hola a todos, y estamos aquí en un nuevo gameplay de The Stanley Parable. Un juego que me he comprado, bueno, que me han regalado nuevo. Y que es un juego que yo lo he probado antes, hay versión gratuita. Y que me ha encantado. He visto el gameplay y me ha encantado. Así que bueno, muchas gracias a quien me lo ha regalado, el Lieutenant Mr. Ock. Y nada, pues vamos a comenzar. Este juego se llama La Parábola de Stanley. Trata de... Tú eres Stanley y estás en una oficina. Bueno, ahora escucharé la historia. Si veo que tarda demasiado, lo corto, no os preocupéis. Ya va a empezar. Atención al vídeo. Dentro del vídeo en 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Dentro del vídeo.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Bueno, pues esa es la historia de Stanley. El empleado 427, ahí está. Y nada, pues vamos a ver qué dicen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Venga, esta primera le vamos a hacer caso totalmente, para que veáis cómo es el final con todo el caso y demás. Este juego trata de este señor que, bueno, que le pasa algo raro en la oficina. Pero lo curioso de este juego es que tiene siempre 2 o más opciones a elegir. Nunca es solo una. Ya veréis.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, sí. Ay, mira. Es que se me va un poco el ratón porque es del Mac y no sé, se me va raro.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
¿Qué oscuro secreto guardará a nuestro jefe? Lo sabremos en breve.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Vamos a buscarnos entre todas estas pantallas. A ver si nos podemos encontrar. Sería el 427, 427, 427. Ahí estamos. Ahí está. ¿Sabes? Están mis compañeros. Bueno, pues vamos.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Qué mal suena eso.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Bueno, aprovechando que estamos aquí, voy a intentar desbloquear un logro, que era pulsando unas cuantas veces en el botón 8. A ver si lo encuentro. El 8. Está 1, 2, ahí arriba está. El 4. Aquí el 3. Aquí el 5. Pero no está el 8. Bueno. Pues nada.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Pues vamos a hacerle caso.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ya está. Este es el final que, siguiendo todo lo que te dice, pues este es el final que sale. Tiene muchísimos finales. Así que vamos a hacer otro, ¿por qué no? ¿Qué os parece si esta vez no hacemos caso en nada? Vamos a pasar el cambio total. Venga, vamos a probarlo. Tiene muchísimos finales.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Me tiro. Me suicido.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Oh.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Bien. Pobre Stanley. Oh, lol. Se ha cambiado.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
¿Qué hacemos? ¿Qué hacemos? Venga, izquierda.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Hay una puerta ahí abierta. ¿Pero cómo puedo llegar allí?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Bien, sabio. Uy, uy, uy. El cuarto oscuro.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Ostras.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Uy.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Oh, esta parte no está hecha.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
¿Qué quiere que haga? ¿Dónde voy?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Me suicido. Llorando.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Los interrogadores.
No!
Pero no.
Oh, thank God. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
¿Por qué sí? ¡Arriba España!
Stanley? Let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Adiós.
Or maybe
No,
you're
todavía
just
no.
getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask.
Su teclado de más
Looks like you
lento.
wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Pues nada.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going...
Bueno, pues creo que ya hemos jugado un ratito. Yo creo que ya está bien. Le hemos hecho caso, no le hemos hecho caso. No le hemos hecho caso totalmente y nos hemos tirado. Y bueno, muchas cosas hemos hecho. Y ya está. Creo que tampoco quiero hacer el gameplay demasiado largo. Pues nada. Aquí me despido. Así que muchísimas gracias por verlo. Dale si te ha gustado, suscríbete igualmente. Y nada más. Muchísimas gracias. Comentad para más de Stanley Parable o cualquier videojuego. Suscribíos y nada más. Muchísimas gracias y adiós.
Come and get it.